Hello, everybody. Welcome back over to the to this piece of shit steamroll of a show called Usually Disappointed. It's your good pal Ethan.
And it is your good boy, Ben.
And your bad boy Elias.
Oh.
Oh, ooh,
Oh.
someone's a little naughty today, aren't
Spicante, yeah.
Don't these always start naughty?
they? Usually.
I mean, there's only one that we talked about shoving things up our butt, so
Oh, what one was that?
I think number 3 when Andrew was
Okay,
here. Yeah.
I did just listen to 3 like a couple days ago again. I don't remember that. I listened back to these like a little bit later when I'm at work.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I remember that. It was like it was like right before we started the whole thing. We were talking about the fact that anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
Yeah, that's
and
true, that's true.
winning a bunch of awards just to get like the super big one and then use that to go up your butt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Andrew really likes anal, and hey man, no disrespect, man.
No disrespect at all. No judgment.
All right, anyway, let's move on.
So, we're just gonna kind of jump into things today after talking about what fantastic start to things. So it's really funny over the past little while. No idea when this will go out, but we've been kind of going over the past few episodes, and it's been kind of like slow news weeks for the most part. Most of the stories have just kind of been surrounding the consoles, and honestly, that's kind of about it. But it seems like the whole world turned in on itself this week, and we just have like a shitload of stuff. There's a new Nintendo controversy surrounding like a hacked version of Melee being used at tournaments. The Last of Us. Yeah, The Last of Us HBO show is apparently going to be canonical with the games. We got a couple other things, but there's kind of like 3 stories at least I found the most interesting and would kind of, I guess, prove to have the most discussion out of it. Because I don't want to talk about The Last of Us again.
A few other things that I actually noticed this week that just like barely happened. The Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity got released because I got an email about that from Nintendo, and then the new gameplay trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 dropped and has people a little shook in both directions.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a lot of we can lightly touch on that later if you want, or I could just kind of splurge.
Just go on it now, bro.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not really that crazy. It's just the fact that a lot of fans are like, oh no, Keanu doesn't look like the cinematic trailer. And a lot of people are like, oh, this actually looks pretty good. I hope it turns out cool. So, yeah.
So it's just another one of those stupid graphics debates. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to expect? It's an open world RPG, and it's, it's been overhyped like crazy for the past, like, couple years, so
yeah. I mean, I saw a couple gameplay trailers from recently, and at least how it looked on the Xbox Series X as well as the Xbox One X, and honestly it looks really good from what I saw. I was like, shit, this game looks good. So I mean, I want to
play it.
Yeah, I do too. Anyway,
yeah,
on to the big stuff from the week. We're going to start with the smaller stuff, and we're going to work up to the big one. So I guess the first thing is, I think it was yesterday, by the time of recording this, today is the 20th? Yes. So it was like yesterday, the 19th. IO Interactive, the guys who developed the Hitman games, have announced that they're working on a James Bond game that's going to kind of be like an origin story game, which seems really interesting because you never really get an origin story for Bond. It's always just like, hey, there's Bond in all the movies and whatever. I don't know about the Ian Fleming books. I haven't read any of them. Don't know if I care to. But yeah, no, we're going to get a Bond game by the guys who made Hitman, which honestly, if we're going to get a Bond game in the modern age, what better studio to helm that than the guys who made Hitman? So
yeah,
it sounds really cool. We only have this like a little cinematic trailer that kind of like runs. I guess it looks kind of similar to like a Bond opening. But I'm interested. I'm a Bond fan. Generally.
Bond.
Earlier this year, I watched every single Bond movie. Not like back to back, because that would have been like 3 days straight of watching Bond, but I watched basically nothing but Bond movies for like a couple weeks. And like there's a lot of shit Bond movies, but there's a lot of great ones too. And Bond doesn't have a whole ton of representation in video games, mainly just a bunch of like shitty license games. But other than like GoldenEye, the one game that everybody talks about, Bond's video game relevance is relatively small. So it's cool to see like such a lucrative license get picked up by a very interesting developer. And honestly, I'm pretty excited to see where it goes with that. I generally don't get hyped for games. Try not to. It always leads to disappointment, but if there's any studio again that's going to helm a Bond game, definitely it would be these guys.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a Bond game for like a hot minute, right?
Yeah, we didn't get any in the past little while. I know there were a couple games that were released in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era. There was like a GoldenEye remake, and I think there's like a Quantum of Solace game. There were a couple, but there were very, very few. Like
also,
maybe
who is the studio that developed it originally?
Developed what game originally?
Like the original Bond games.
Well, there were a lot of people who worked on them, so I can't really say.
Huh. So it wasn't just one studio.
It's a movie license. It usually gets passed around by like a shitload of other people. It's usually not just, hey, one person has hold of it and they keep it, maybe on a publisher end, but not on a developer end. I like the only example I can think of that was when Beanox was kind of like the primary developer of Spider-Man games until Sony brought back the game license for them exclusively, I believe. So yeah,
interesting. I didn't know that.
But yeah, cool. New Bond game made by the Hitman people. We'll wait and see what comes from that. At the very least, we're not going to get it until next year. But at least where it stands, really interested. Sounds cool. Woohoo!
Right on time for the new Bond movie too, probably. Well, maybe not right on time, but like in the same announcement sphere, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that will probably help out too with marketing and the like. So,
yeah. Daniel Craig's last Bond movie, and then this new Bond game. Bond's kind of it's a good couple years for Bond, I guess.
Bond's back, baby. All right. Elias, you're awfully quiet.
I just never liked Bond movies, and the Hitman games were always kind of iffy with me. So I don't know. I have nothing to add to this. I also realized
you played the Hitman games though.
I have. They're always disappointing. But what was I gonna say? This, I don't know. Hearing you guys talk about this makes me realize that I really just don't watch movies, and I really just don't play video games that often.
I mean, to be fair,
you're on a video game podcast.
I know I am, but like,
well, I mean, you play video games more than you watch movies.
Oh yeah, I don't watch movies. I haven't watched a movie in
because
a long time.
Because most of that time's taken up by I'm guessing like anime and manga and stuff.
No, I've just been doing nothing with my life. Anyway, continue. Let's ignore me. Continue.
All right, so I guess the next thing that's kind of on the docket, and this is something that really pisses me off, because Call of Duty continuously is a very egregious series on how far they can just take the piss, and for people to just kind of lap it up and not really bother. And I get why, because Call of Duty isn't the gamer's game. That sounds stupid to say, but it's something that has obviously loads of mass appeal. It's easily the most mass appeal game series out there besides sports titles, really, and like Mario.
Yeah, because like when you start talking about video games to like other people who aren't in like the gaming sphere, they'll instantly know titles like Halo and Call of Duty and Mario and stuff like that. Like just the big like icons, I guess, that they always hear about.
Yeah, no, and that's certainly true. And so Call of Duty, Activision, Blizzard really again push things as far as they can. They, we had they ripped Call of Duty off of Steam. A lot of the older games are still there, but new games are only released via the Battle.net client on PC. We have the exclusive modes that hit on the Modern Warfare reboot from last year, as well as the Black Ops Cold War, which is released on PlayStation. And now in a new act to see how far they can take the piss, Call of Duty has a new PlayStation Advantage thing going on. And it's really, really annoying. So obviously Sony has that exclusive deal with Activision, so they get that exclusive content to the Zombies Onslaught mode. Fine, whatever. I mean, not fine, but yeah, here's what's going on. You get more XP on PlayStation. You get 2 additional weapon loadout slots on PlayStation. You get 5 tier skips on the Battle Pass bundles. And there was one other thing. What was that there? Additionally, you had, monthly double XP events that were exclusive to PlayStation as well. So you have all this stuff that's only on that platform, which, yes, is annoying, but it wouldn't be nearly as annoying if the game wasn't cross-play, where people, if you have a PlayStation person who's playing against an Xbox person, that Xbox person is immediately at a progression disadvantage by playing on that platform. And it also goes monetarily as well. Because you heard me right, I said 5 extra tier skips on Battle Pass crap and whatever. So yeah, they have these like $20 or $25 bundles, essentially, where it's like you can buy the Battle Pass or whatever for the whatever first Battle Pass that Black Ops Cold War is running, and you get like 10 or whatever tier skips, I don't know, for the Battle Pass.
I think it was 5, it said.
But you get 5 extra if you buy it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So you are paying the same amount of money for a lesser experience on any other platform versus the PlayStation platform. And it's so annoying, man. It's really, really, really annoying because nobody gets mad about this stuff.
I mean, it might have been balanced out if they did something similar for the Xbox side of things. For example, if they just had like 2 advantages to go head to head, that might be at least somewhat interesting. But from what I understand,
a stupid idea.
From what I understand, there isn't anything like that going on. It's just Xbox is normal Call of Duty, and then PlayStation's like, oh, you get this extra stuff.
Yeah, because Activision has that whole advertising and distribution stuff, that deal that they have locked up with Sony. So, I mean, that's the only reason why. It's because of, behind the scenes business partnerships more than anything else. But that even though there's justification in that, we know why it happened. It obviously doesn't mean it should happen or it's good that it's happening. Yeah, so really sorry to those of you who decided to buy Black Ops on any other platform other than the PlayStation platforms, and thought that you were basically getting the same experience. I mean, obviously you knew you weren't getting the Zombies Onslaught mode until the game's irrelevant a year from now anyway. But surprise, here you go. It just became an even worse deal for you. And yeah, a lot of people can argue, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And yeah, I get it, but here's the thing. It's the principle, and it's a slippery slope. And I know a lot of people get mad about the slippery slope argument, but especially in the game industry, you give any publisher an inch, and they will take the globe from you. And we have seen that happen time and time and time and time again. And
yeah, it doesn't change.
It doesn't. It just, well, I mean, it changes. It just gets worse.
I mean,
that's
the
how it
fact that they
changes.
do that has not changed. It's just,
Yeah.
they've done that for a while, and it's not going to get any better, I don't think.
Nope, it won't. It's just gonna get worse. And it's not helped by the fact that, again, there's rarely anybody I've seen kick up any sort of stink about this. I mean, I've seen like a couple independent news people who will, like, news commentators who editorialize and whatever, who have, made a deal about it. But other than that, it's been, lips shut the whole time. And frankly, I'm tired of platform exclusive content, and even this new form of platform exclusive advantages to multi-platform games. It's disgusting. There's no better way to put it. It's gross. And you can go to hell, Activision. Seriously.
Even the like to dislike ratio on the video is interesting, because for something like this, you'd imagine that the dislikes would be a lot higher.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's like, I mean, a number of people are upset about it, but it's nothing compared to like when Battlefield like 5 came out and everyone was upset about Robot Arm Girl or whatever. It's like nothing even close to that. It's just like, oh, I mean, that sucks, but like, oh well, is what a lot of people are saying, essentially.
Yeah, no, it's
when this is like like fundamentally affecting their gameplay experience, whereas the Battlefield 5 thing was just like a creative choice.
Yeah, no, trying to draw comparisons of that is frankly ridiculous. It's obviously nowhere near the same thing, and people are just trying to take whatever reaches that they can to take the piss where they can. But yeah, that's Call of Duty once again being a piece of shit. I'm still planning on playing Black Ops Cold War at some point. Who knows when that will be. I'm still a slave to the Call of Duty system, but not like I do it with a smile on my face, that's for sure. And especially not happy about this. Who knows what kind of investment I'll put into the multiplayer. I'm definitely not going to re-download Warzone, though. Hell no, I'm not going to be playing Warzone again. But, in other news, stuff that's not pissing me off, Capcom, everybody's favorite publisher that releases Mega Man and Resident Evil, or the only publisher that releases those games, there was a really big leak that happened just about a week ago, close to a week ago, 4 days ago, maybe.
Yeah,
5.
4 days. I mean, the article was written 4 days ago, which means it was probably maybe around that time, actually, because articles come out pretty quick.
Yeah, so what happened here, and I'm pulling this from Game Informer's report written by Leanna Rupert. So there was a hacker group that apparently like got into Capcom's systems. They stole about like a terabyte of data, as far as I'm aware, and they held it for ransomware. So they were like, "Hey, give us like, what was it? I think it was like, I don't know, 5 million or something like that, or we dump the data." And Capcom refused, which is what they should have done. It's definitely no big deal, I guess, for them. They're saying that it's really not that big of a deal. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of data that got released on Capcom projects and products that are looking down the line. A couple of interesting things. We're not going to go over all of it, but there's a new Ace Attorney collection that'll be released on PlayStation 4 and Switch real soon, which is cool because I've always wanted to get into Ace Attorney, but I'll definitely hold out for a new collection. That sounds cool. The Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village demo looks like it's going to be released on April 2021, and it might additionally have like a bit of exclusivity time on PlayStation platforms. It'll be, a cross-platform demo, but I think PlayStation will probably get it like a week early. I read that from another report. There's a Resident Evil 4 Oculus Rift game, which seems really, really weird.
Isn't that one of like the more action like packed ones?
It was a lot of people say it was the start, but I mean it's definitely where it was the most noticeable, I say Resident Evil 3 is kind of when the action really started kicking up, but yeah, Resident Evil 4 is definitely when the series took its most dramatic turn, because instead of going from fixed camera angles, I had a third-person camera. It still had tank controls, which is really weird. But yeah, no, it's
an interesting development.
Certainly, yeah, no, it's weird. But there's some other stuff that kind of happened. Devil May Cry 2 source code was found alongside Umbrella Chronicles, which is weird. Kind of curious to see what's going on with that. Funny thing, it looked like the most interesting thing that I saw from the whole thing, outside of like, game projects that are working, because like there was also like a multiplayer shooter that Capcom's working on too, which seems interesting. Curious how they'd pull something off like that. But
and then there's Monster Hunter Stories 2, and it looks like that they were saying something. There's going to be like a Battle Royale Resident Evil Village thingy.
Yeah, this is the only report I've read that had this in so far. I mean, it's not like I read every single, article that talked about this, but
yeah,
I don't know. Curious. I'll probably have to find like the full data leak itself. It was originally leaked on 4chan as far as I'm aware, and I'm not going there. I refuse. I don't have a hazmat suit in my possession to go into 4chan, really. So yeah, the big thing here.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not. The big thing that, from what I've seen around it, it was certainly the most interesting thing to me was the whole thing surrounding Resident Evil 2's VR. No, Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 7's VR mode. So, if anyone remembers, and I don't think any of you guys are like real like big Resident Evil guys or whatever, but back when Resident Evil 7 launched, I think it was 2017 when that came out, the game was going to have it had a VR mode exclusive to PlayStation, so you could play the whole game in PSVR. But the weird thing is that with the PC release, there was no VR support, and so people were wondering, hey, why the hell aren't we getting this? And everybody knew that there had to have been some sort of deal that was struck up between Capcom and Sony to put that as a console exclusive experience. Yet apparently it's been reported that the dollar amount, and again, it's not listed in this Game Informer article, but it was in another one I read. I could dig it up. I think it was the one from PC Gamer that I read. But apparently Sony paid like $5 million to Capcom and able to pull that exclusive mode, which seems really weird. I had no idea that VR for Resident Evil was, I guess, so big of a deal for a console platform to have it exclusive. I guess it doesn't make any sense to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, again, there's all that other data in here, and we're not going to go over all of it. Again, there's definitely a lot to pick through, but if you're interested, you can find articles on it yourself. Certainly interesting if you're someone like me who, I mean, like, I'm not like the biggest Capcom fan in the world. I haven't played every Capcom game under the sun. But there's a lot of, game franchises that are under their belt that I certainly enjoy, and they've become one of my favorite publishers recently. So yeah, no, it's certainly interesting to kind of see what's going on. But
yeah, for sure.
Outside of that, the only last things that we really have in terms of business are games in which that have been played over the past week. Yeah,
Indeed.
I'm a big gamer boy, and I've played a lot of shit, of course, because I don't have a life. But I want to see if anybody else here, resident silent person Elias, you said that you might not have had anything this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm contributing nothing. I thought I could contribute something, but this is all news that pertains nothing to me, and I hate news. And then I'm realizing I haven't played any games this week because I've been working on a song album project. So, yeah, I don't know how you find time to play games. I have a hard time.
I work, and I mean, it does certainly help for me that one of my jobs has me kind of surrounded with video games. Because I write articles and stuff for CBR, and if I'm playing through a game or something and it's like, oh, I could maybe write an article about this, then I pitch it to them, and then they're like, yeah, cool, write something. I'm like, cool, I get paid to play this video game, I guess. So that's how it kind of works for me. But of course there are other games that I just kind of play for fun, but usually I don't start when we talk about games that we played this week, but I'm gonna break the mold and I'm gonna start first. So you can chew on that, Ben.
Okay, I will chew on that.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
So I guess the first thing is that on the very last episode I was talking about playing through Portal 2. Well, shortly after recording, I finished Portal 2, and I stand by where I was at last week. It's a great game. It's really funny. It's got a great story. Love the characters. Voice acting's amazing. The presentation's great. I mean, everything surrounding it is 10 out of 10. Pacing is a big issue, and I just feel that it very much overstays its welcome. We don't need a full retread of what I was thinking last week, but I just wanted to report back that I finished it, and I thought it was pretty good. Actually pretty great, but I still think Portal 1's better, and I know that upsets a lot of people, but I can't control how I feel. Well, guess I can, maybe. I don't know the psychology behind that. I don't have a degree.
But you liked Portal 2 more than Portal 1? No, you liked Portal 1 more than Portal 2?
Yes.
And that's your opinion, so yeah.
Yes. That is my opinion for sure. I'll talk about this one real quick, because this one's just really tiny, but I decided, because after I finished Portal 2, I was like, okay, well, I run into those ruts that happen, right, where it's like, and I think I talked about this on another episode before, where it's like, I have this stretch where after I finish off like a game or a series that I kind of just scramble around to try and find something to play, and whatever kind of holds my interest sticks. So I play like 5 games basically kind of at the same time and just kind of see, okay, what sticks, what doesn't. And one of the games that I got pretty far in, I guess, but didn't really stick with me was sadly Super Hot Mind Control Delete.
Is it like a sequel to Super Hot or something?
Yeah, but it's weird. It's different. It's different, but it's the same. This was like a free thing that was released to previous owners of Super Hot, if I believe. I certainly didn't pay for it, but it came out this year, and it's in my Steam library, so I got it legitimately. I didn't yo ho ho it or anything. But yeah, no, it's kind of like, I guess, a standalone expansion or a full on sequel to Super Hot. It's basically what if Super Hot, but kind of like a roguelite, and
interesting.
I don't know how I really felt about that. The core gameplay is the same, where it's the cool like puzzle shooter feel. It still has that, and it still nails that gameplay loop really well. The problem is that you have this like little world map, and of course it's like in the style of like an old like CRT like computer screen program thing, whatever, and the story is just like, again, it's really up its own ass and whatever, which is fine. That's what Super Hot is, and I'm not saying that as a derogatory thing, but it's very cryptic, it's very metaphorical, very much something to think and to analyze about, because it's not forward facing on its full on themes, and Mind Control Delete doubles down on that. But you have like this little map thing that you're kind of navigating, and you select on an area, and then you have like a list of code, which is like a bunch of letters, but like words in red will show up, and when it scans to that word in red, then it's like, oh, there's a level that you play. And then when you find a white bar, when you scroll down the one, that gives you one of 2 like upgrades you keep for that run. and you have like a life meter, whatever. You can take like 2-3 hits or whatever before you have to restart the section. And like, again, there's a couple cool new weapons. There's a new enemy type, which is kind of cool. And it's still super hot, so it controls really well, and it looks great. I love its stylized graphics, and it plays really well, but it's like 3 times as long as the original game.
Oh, wow.
And it's just kind of like no reason for it to be that length when it's so repetitive, and there's new levels, but there's not a lot of them, so it just kind of... You're just kind of playing the same levels over and over again, but with a different spawn point each time, and sometimes those spawn points are, like, really cheap, where you'll just spawn in front of 2 guys with guns, and it's like, well, great, thanks. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen, and it often screws up your run. And it's just kind of like, I just don't have the investment to finish this, so I put it down, which sucks. To say that I put down a super hot game and didn't finish it is severely heartbreaking, but Mind Control Delete's still interesting. It's worth a try. If you love it, you love it, and I certainly won't argue against it, but I don't know, man. I just played the first one again.
Just didn't hit the spot for you, I guess, in the end.
Yeah, because I don't mind changing formulas and iterating on pre-established ideas, but this just made some very weird, wacky gameplay and pacing decisions that just don't feel in line with what Superhot really was to begin with. I don't want to be an armchair developer and tell Superhot team, that's their development studio's name, I don't want to tell them how to make their own games. Far from that. You make what you want to make, but it just wasn't for me, which sucks because I played both Superhot and Superhot VR, and they're both amazing. Why wasn't I a big fan of this? Yeah, it's kind of but yeah, that's a brief spiel for me on some games. Let's have Ben go in. What you been playing, mate?
I've been playing one thing today, but it actually I've talked about it tons before, so I'm not going to talk your ear off about it again. But it does lead into a conversation, I think, about achievement hunting, which is interesting. I think. I don't think we've really covered that too much, so that's the angle I'm going to take on it. But I've been playing Dark Souls 3 heavily for the past week, for the purpose of 100%ing it with Steam achievements.
Very nice.
And so. The main reason being is because I have this thing where if I really enjoy a game, I will actually make an effort to 100% it, despite how hard it is. I did it with Hollow Knight earlier this year. That was extremely difficult to do. When I played Jedi Fallen Order, I decided to 100% that, and that one was a lot easier. And I realized, hey, like Dark Souls 3 is like literally number 2 of my like favorite top 10 games of the last generation. So why not try to 100% that? And so since picking it back up, I've gotten 2 extra achievements, that being like the one where you get all the rings and the one where you get all the weapon infusions. And I'm currently now working on like miracles, sorceries, and pyromancies. Big thing though is that This achievement hunt has been very grindy because in order to get one of the miracles for the miracles achievement, you need to get 30 proofs of a Concord kept, and those are obtained either you can find I think 2 per run, and then you can also get them from joining the Dark Moon Blade Covenant, and then you get summoned to a world, and if you beat the invader in that world, then you get a proof of a Concord kept. Additionally, you can go to the Orlando bonfire, and you can just farm the Silver Knights with like item boost, like equipment, like the symbol of avarice, the mimic head, the certain rings that will boost your item discovery.
Using the antique coins and beefing your luck, I guess, too.
Yeah, so I've been putting more specs into my luck since I've already hit the soft cap for strength, and I'm a big bonk boy. So Yeah, so that's been super grindy. I only have, I think, 15, and I've been doing that same farming method with the Silver Knights and the occasional invasions for, I think, like the last 2 days. That's like all I've been doing in Dark Souls 3, and it's kind of great. It's kind of grating on me. Luckily, this achievement's the only one that's going to take that long. Some of the other achievements you can cheese. For example, for the Mound Makers reward for that covenant, you can just have a friend like invade your world, or no, you invade their world and you kill them a whole bunch or whatever until you get the amount that you need, and that can be done in like less than an hour, I think. But yeah, so far it's been really grating. But kind of just to talk on that a little bit, like the last game I remember like not wanting to act like I remember that I really loved it, but not wanting to actually finish it because of the grind, like 100% wise, was Dark Cloud 2. It's an old PS2 JRPG, and when I saw that it had achievements on PS4, I was like, oh, I'm gonna give this a shot. And the game, like each playthrough will take you close to 40 to 50 hours. And this achievement, one of the achievements is like extremely missable. So it's really hard to keep track of it. And if you miss one thing out of the many things you have to like take pictures of, that's what you have to do. You have to take pictures of stuff. If you miss one thing, you have to start your whole playthrough all over again. And I had to do that twice, I think. And then by that point, I was just so sick and tired of the game that I put it down, and I haven't picked it up since, which is a shame because I really loved that game. It's part of my childhood. So I was wondering if you guys had any similar experiences or thoughts about achievement hunting and grindy achievements versus like ones that are slightly, I don't know, more either skill-based or just easier to pick up.
I guess for me, because I notoriously had been an achievement hunter for a long while. I still have fun doing it, but nowhere near as crazy as what I used to be. I don't know, like I could quickly double check, because I know on Xbox I have over 100,000 gamer score, which is ridiculous. Yes, I know. On PlayStation, I have how many platinum trophies? 44 platinum trophies. A total of 3,506 trophies earned. And then on Steam, I have I just broke the 3,000 achievement barrier on Steam. So, like, I don't really hunt, like, Steam achievements or whatever. I don't know. I don't really find the investment much in them unless they're, like, really funny or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I guess some of them I care about, but I don't know. Like, to be fair, like, is it fun to like kind of try and grind the easy games for gamer score trophies or Steam achievements or whatever? I mean, yeah, it is, but it also feels good to earn them. But you know, I'm not gonna put in literally 14 hours into Dead Rising, in like 14 hours straight, mind you, for the survival mode thing, the your health is always draining and healing items don't respawn, and try to survive like in-game week, I think, in it, which is 14 hours in real time, and there's no save point, so it all has to be in one full swoop. Oh, wow. To get 20 gamer score or like a silver trophy or like one measly Steam achievement for that.
Jeez. It's insane.
A part of me would like maybe like to do it for like a charity stream or something. Like I'd push myself to do it if I was like raising money for something, but otherwise hell if I'd ever do that. Especially with Dead Rising 1's wonkier control schemes. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have a whole lot to say about achievement hunting, even though I was an achievement hunter at some point. Cool, I guess. I still do it from time to time, but you know, as it used to kind of be one of my primary motivators to play games. Was like I just like to watch that number tick up, like he who monkey brain.
Yeah.
Number increase, dopamine release. Numbers increase, dopamine release. There you go.
Hey, fresh bars.
Then some fresh bars, man. And that's the title of this episode.
Fresh bars from Ethan.
Yeah, so Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I only decide to achievement hunt on games that like I actually really enjoy, and that unless they're like grindy to the point that unless they're like grindy to the point that Dark Cloud 2 was, I like if I really like them, I will go for the achievements. If they kind of like if they're like mediocre, they kind of grab my interest, but like I enjoy the game, but like I don't like fall in love with it, then I'm not gonna achievement hunt on it. For example, like the BioShock games I really liked, but as far as gameplay goes, I'm not super in love with them because they're essentially another shooter. So I'm not gonna achievement hunt on those. I don't think you can even. I'm not even sure. But like Jedi Fallen Order was a fantastic game. I loved it, so I got all the achievements, and it was easy to do too. Dark Souls 3, I love that game to death, and so that's why I'm working on it now, even though this Proof of Concord Kept achievement is really starting to grind my gears a little bit. Although I did just get the Ringed Knight paired greatswords, and those are a fun weapon. And then like Hollow Knight was really tough. It took me a whole year to get like the last 2 achievements, I think. So but yeah, so if I fall in love with a game, I'll 100% it. But if it does have like an extremely grindy thing to where it's not like just a skill-based thing, it's like you just literally like it just requires you to put a lot of like hours into the game for no other reason, like then I probably won't do it.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think
if it's skill-based, I'll try it, but yeah.
I think I have to agree with you on that because I don't know. I think I follow the same thing you do, Ben, where it's like if I like a game, I'll go for achievement hunting, and otherwise I really won't. But speaking of achievement hunting, I started to work my way in the Payday 2 stuff. That's what I was doing this week. Like for the 1 hour.
Oh, yeah.
For the 1 hour I was playing games this week, I pulled up Payday 2. I was like, okay, let me do a run on this and see if I can get this achievement. And I happened to accidentally get an achievement I didn't even aim to get. But the chance of you getting the specific spawn of the map is like a 0.01% chance or something ridiculous. So it's one of these like diamond heists where you're walking through this whole like skyscraper building and robbing them of all their diamonds. And you open up this vault, and inside the vault there's a chance, that small tiny chance, and this has to be like the 2 highest difficulties of the game as well. There's a small chance that another vault will be spawned inside that vault that you can then break into and steal the quote-unquote red diamond. I got that on accident. I've put 300 hours into that game. I've done that heist in particular quite a few hundred times now, probably. And this is the first time I've seen it. So, that's like... I don't know. Like, the only achievements I'm going for Payday 2 right now are just all the ones that are like, hey, pass this mission at so-and-so difficulty level. Because those ones are like, cool, I can practice those, I can get
They're skill-based.
They're skill-based, yeah. The skill-based ones are the ones I think I enjoy the most, and I will
if
go
you're good
for
enough, you can do them.
Exactly, because it's an actual achievement at that point, not I happened to get this, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's like there's an actual like sense of accomplishment that comes from that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. The Simpsons game doesn't have trophies on the PS3 version, but on the Xbox 360 version of the game, there's an achievement to just press start on like the opening menu to like get into the main menu, and they give you like 5 gamer score for that, and it's just like. I mean, like, I guess for a joke, haha, funny, but...
I can see it for, like, a joke.
But like, it's a joke that got worn out really fast at this point, because so many games just throw them at you, and I know, because I bought, like, a bunch of, like, shitty achievement and shitty trophy games on other platforms that all they do is just, like, chuck you platinum trophies or full 1,000 gamer score completions, like, at you like crazy, and it's like... Cool. Like
I feel achievement.
he who number go up on my profile. Sense of pride and accomplishment, not really, but it bloats my profile, so I look cooler than what I do. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of dumb.
I know.
Achievements are an extremely stupid concept. I think they're really stupid, but I still enjoy them, even though I know they're stupid.
Yeah, I'm right
I know
with you.
they're stupid, but like, if for the games that I like, it gives me more purpose to keep playing that game.
Yeah,
A digital
yeah.
token
I
to
think it's the
prove that
main
you're-
reason. Yeah.
Yeah, other than just like completing the story again, because even with a great story, sometimes you do have to let it sit for a while before replaying it again, or like even like the core gameplay mechanics and just the fact of going around and doing certain things for no purpose, that can get boring. So if you have like a goal to shoot for, then that gives the game a renewed sense of purpose. To me anyway.
Yeah, everything in moderation, right? Achievements in moderation. I think that's the best way to do them. Because I don't think I can go back to as much as I loved crap. What's the name of the game? It just skipped my mind. Horizon Zero Dawn. As much as I loved that game, and I really have like a yearning to go back into that world, I don't think I can. I don't think I can physically go in and like open up that game right now. Because like I've 100%ed it. There's no purpose to like playing that game anymore.
You've 100%ed it like twice now, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, because on PS4 and PC.
I just can't. I don't think I can take myself back in there. So
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's at a point when you've already exhausted like all of its content twice over. So
true.
It's like, what else is there to do?
What else is there? Yeah.
At that point, it's okay to just retire it. I don't. Yeah, especially in a game that's like really long or whatever. But
like the same can be said for me in Hollow Knight. Like I have almost 300 hours in the game, and I recently got that final achievement, and that's awesome. There's still some extra stuff to do in the game, but like it's behind a super high skill barrier. And I think at this point, after 100%ing it, I've exhausted myself of it for a while. So it might be like a fat minute before I actually go back in and attempt to do the things that I have left. But achievement wise, I have 100%ed it, and the percentage in game doesn't go up any further than 112. It's just these extra little tidbits like beating Radiant Absolute Radiance, and then getting all bindings on the Pantheons, just so you can visit like this tiny little secret area called the Land of Storms or whatever, and pick up like a small item that doesn't really do much. It's just like, hey, you did it. Cool.
What I find funny about you wanting to take a break from it is that if you take a break, you're just going to set yourself even further back from being able to accomplish the harder level skill things.
Well, yeah, but at that point, it's like there's the in-game stuff, but it's not the achievements. I've already technically completed the game multiple times.
Yeah, no.
And I'll let it sit for a while. I'm giving my time to Dark Souls 3, and then I also decided that I've got such a big backlog on my Steam library of games that I've just done. Like I've spent a lot of money on my Steam library and haven't played like half of them yet. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna, before I buy any more new games, I'm just gonna play through all of these ones that I have.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I might find a new favorite.
And better prep yourself before that winter sale happens, boy.
Oh god.
Oh yeah. I don't think I'm gonna participate because I want to like get gifts for people and stuff.
I think it'll be literally impossible for me to participate. So, no money unless someone buys me Steam cards. My parents probably will for Christmas.
Hey.
Anyway, fun discussion about achievements. That was cool. Really nice. Fun topic.
Yeah.
Let's keep bitching about video games. So I guess you were kind of talking about Dark Souls 3 and then went on to about your the stuff about achievements. I have a couple more games that I played this week. One game that I didn't play a whole ton, but I did play a little bit. I played them Tetris Effect Connected, which is the Tetris it's Tetris Effect, but with multiplayer. So it's already like the best version of Tetris, but now with multiplayer. And I played a lot of those multiplayer modes, and they're really cool. You have your standard Tetris. You actually have classic Tetris, like old Game Boy style Tetris, where there's no, because in Tetris how like if you have a block hovering in an area, you could like press the up button or something and it will immediately slap to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's only drag. to the drag to the bottom. There's no piece storing, so you can't be like, oh hey, there's a Z piece, I don't want to throw that down right now because it's completely inconvenient, so I'll just store that and wait for later, or store the long bar piece
so it's just
pull up Tetris. Yep, none of that. Yeah, again, it's classic Tetris, but it's cool. They have a multiplayer version of that. Then they have the zone Tetris, which is Tetris Effect's one gimmick besides its like audio visual just sheer insanity that makes me cry tears of joy. It's a mode where it's basically like an ultimate move that you can do, like after you score, like bank enough points or line clears, you have the zone ability where you like hit the triggers if you're playing on a controller. I don't know about a keyboard. Why are you playing Tetris with a keyboard? But you hit the trigger buttons at the same time on your controller, and then it hits it freezes time for you to try and bank as many line clears as you can, and then it will clear that whole board of those all in a single swoop, and it like banks a lot of points. But they have that in the multiplayer mode where like when you do a zone and you have like a bunch of line clears, like whenever you clear lines, it builds up new lines on the other player's side, so it's basically like a race to see who can throw more shit at somebody else's side until they win. So it's kind of like Tetris 99, except it's two people, and instead of the insanity of getting ganked by like 7 people at the same time, this one actually feels fair and fun. But yeah, no, I played some of that. Tetris Effect still slaps. I still highly recommend it. It's on Game Pass on PC and console, and if you have it and you haven't played it, I don't know what the hell your problem is. There's no point in saving you. Also, I did this because I have an article that I finished today, actually, ranking the Halo campaigns on Legendary difficulty from easiest to hardest. And I got the idea because I was playing through Halo 4 on Legendary, because it just came out on PC just like a couple days ago through Master Chief Collection. So the Master Chief Collection is now complete on PC. Yay! Hey. And there's cross-play for multiplayer, but not for campaign and Spartan Ops yet, which is stupid. We need that. But I'm sure they're working on it. But it's there for multiplayer. But anyway, with Halo 4 on PC, I was like, okay, because now I can actually play it with a control scheme that makes me feel like an adult. I'll go through and I'll play through Halo 4 on Legendary solo, because I don't think I've ever done it on solo. I've played Halo 4 on Legendary, and I've beaten it on Legendary before, but not solo. And I know why, because Halo 4 sucks on Legendary. It's a pain in the ass, man. Consistent one-hit kill enemies. Oof. Almost every single enemy type has a larger health bar than you do, especially the Promethean Knights. They're just bullet sponges, man, and they don't have any weak spots, really, as far as I'm aware, so you can't, like, pick them off with headshots or anything. And
you just
then
gotta
on top...
dump magazines into them.
Pretty much. And then on top of that, they'll have Prometheans teamed up with Covenant at the same time, so you'll have, like, Knights, Elites, drones, the bugger guys, and like crawlers and grunts all within a single combat encounter. Oh, also those stupid little flying... Yeah, this is the thing that pisses me off. Quick rant. One thing I absolutely hate about Halo 4 and Halo 5, I think they have it too, but I haven't played Halo 5 in years because that game's shit and I don't want to play it again. But one thing that really pisses me off, so the Promethean Knights, there's like a certain brand of them that will spawn these little flying drone guys that will hover around the knight. And those guys, what they'll do is that they'll like shield them or whatever, and they may even heal them. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, so those knights, they'll spawn the floaty thing. I don't even know what the hell it's called. The floaty thing out. And then if you kill the knight, that floaty thing can resurrect the knight where it was at before.
I remember that, yeah.
And vice versa. And imagine that on Legendary when you're having multiple combat encounters where you're facing off against 7 of these guys all at the same time, plus with a weapon sandbox that gives you barely enough, not even barely enough, they don't give you enough ammo to like fully go through and like actually take care of encounters normally. The ammo counts on most of those guns are so pitiful in Halo 4. It's ridiculous. Halo 4, what a weird ass game, man, because it's got some moments, but the levels are too long and it's way too frustrating at certain parts. But thankfully, like, one level, and everyone knows that level, is so easy to basically skip most of the level through like a really easy to execute glitch. And of course I did that in my legendary run. You can call me a legitimate player or not, I don't care. I got the achievement to finish Halo 4 solo legendary, so kiss my ass.
I just remember like this one level in Halo 4 that took me like forever to beat when I got it, like back when Halo 4 like released. Was like I don't remember the name of it, but I remember like it was like this underground level. It was really big, and there was like
the portals.
Like there was a pillar in the middle, and there was just Prometheans everywhere, and I think maybe some Covenant. And you had to like, I think, destroy 4 batteries so that you could do something with the middle thing.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I absolutely hate.
That took me forever.
Yeah, it's bad. Really, 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 really don't like that one, man. It really sucks. Big ding dong. That one I actually got stuck on quite a while, because on Legendary I was running around and there was a section that had banshees, ghosts, grunts that used charged plasma pistol shots, and elites all running around in that same area. And
I remember. Yeah,
it took me about like a solid hour, I think, to finish that one section of that level.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't mind a sense of difficulty, and we'll be getting to this in just a second, because Halo Legendary campaigns can be tough but fair. Halo 4 leans onto the spectrum of just being bullshit. And yeah, I don't ever want a Legendary Halo 4 again. It's big poopy. But what's not big poopy is Halo 3 ODST, which I just finished a solo Legendary run of that game. And even though you're playing as a character without significant overshields, that game was much easier to finish solo Legendary than Halo 4. And ODST actually felt like, okay, yeah, it's tough, I'm dying, yeah, like, I keep dying, but it's like, I never got, like, super pissed at it. I got pissed playing Halo 4 on Legendary, like, really, really livid. ODST had a few moments where I got frustrated, but I usually was, like, I wasn't stuck on anything for too long, and I was able to finish it. I think it's kind of one of the more ideal Legendary difficulties of the franchise. And solo Legendary for ODST actually isn't all that bad. It's like, actually pretty alright. It's fun. And like you can even co-op it too to make Legendary easier, but I didn't want to wait to co-op with anybody, and I was like, well, I haven't finished ODST solo Legendary before, so I was like, let's do it. So, yep. ODST is pretty good. And I guess while I'm here, I'll just finish the last game that I played this week. Sorry, chatterbox going here, but
oh, you're good.
I haven't finished it, but I'm in the middle of playing it, and this one I'm thinking, I don't know if I can pull an article out of it or not, but my friend Cody, shout out to Cody whenever he gets to this episode. He's been listening to the show. But
sweet. Hi, Cody.
my friendo Cody, he really loves Alan Wake, and he's been yelling at me to play it for God knows how many years at this point, and it's been in my Steam library for, again, who knows how long, and I decided, okay, yeah, I guess I'll boot up Alan Wake and I'll play it, and I don't know how far I am into it. I finished like episode 2. I don't even know how many episodes there are. I could easily look it up, but I'm too lazy. But yeah, what's really weird, Alan Wake is a game that a lot of people like really like, and it's kind of like a cult hit from the Xbox 360. It wasn't exclusive on the Xbox, for the longest time. It was made by Remedy, the guys who made Max Payne 1 and 2, and then they made Alan Wake. They made Quantum Break on the Xbox One, and they also made Control.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's the same dev team, but Alan Wake isn't good, man. I don't like it, and that's weird because everyone was all like, "Oh, this game's so great," and I was like, "Okay, I mean, sure, it might be good or whatever." I'm playing, I'm like, "Wow, this sucks. Like, this is actually not fun." The combat is terrible. It feels awful to control. Alan Wake is super squishy, and he's completely, like, unresponsive to a lot of the controls. And the enemies are just really stupid. The dialogue is so bad. And the funny thing is, so Alan Wake, he's the main character, too. He's a writer. He's like, ooh, I'm this big crime novel writer, or I write scary stories, or whatever. And he, like, has these, like, he talks about Stephen King, and he, like, makes Stephen King references, and there's references to, like, Hitchcock or whatever, as if it thinks it's on, like, the same level as that. It's like, wow, okay. No, you're not even close, man, but the fact you think you are is hilarious. But it for a game that's so, like, oh, it's about a writer and this drama and this spooky stuff that's going on in demons, or I don't even know where the story's going at this point. It's supposed to be, like, super twisty or whatever, and we'll see where it gets. But for a game that's so narrative heavy and it cares so much about its presentation of said narrative, the writing and the voice acting is just awful. It's really, really, really bad. And I would totally understand that if this was, like, an original Xbox, PlayStation 2, GameCube era game, but this was the Xbox 360. At this point, we kind of got the hang of how to do this, but apparently they didn't. And what's weird, because, like, I hear the Max Payne stories are actually really good, and I've looked into those stories, and from what I've seen, yeah, they're really good. I haven't played them yet. I'm gonna play Max Payne at some point soon, but what the hell happened here? I've got no idea, man, but gee, man, Alan Wake is big poopy.
I think I played like 30 minutes of it, like, years ago, like when I was, like, probably like 12 or 13, and I went over to a friend's house that had, like, a whole bunch of Xboxes or whatever. It's like some rich family. And
okay.
yeah. So I went over to their house, and they had, like, the main thing we did over there was play Call of Duty 3, but then at some point we were all just playing different games on their Xbox 360 library, and I found Alan Wake, and I think I played like 30 minutes of it and got bored.
Yeah, man, it's not good. It's got a lot of cornball shit in it too that's unintentionally hilarious, and yeah, I'm finding entertainment value in it, but not in the way that it's obviously intending, and yeah, I guess that's a sign of a kind of a recommendation. I don't know. I don't like how it controls. Again, like, full disclosure, I'm playing with a mouse and keyboard. If that's the wrong way to play this game, I'm sorry. I'm not going to go through the effort of trying to hook up an Xbox controller just to play this game. Maybe I might, and I'll see if it controls better, and if it does, I'll play the rest of the game via a controller. But on mouse and keyboard, the game it controls like shit. Oh, and the one thing I have to mention, and I don't know if any of you have played The Evil Within, but...
Not yet, but it's been on my backlog for a while.
Yeah, but what's really funny, I don't even remember the guy's name from The Evil Within, but if you were to throw both Alan Wake and The Evil Within's protagonist, and you were to put them into a race, like an actual, like, physical run-a-mile race, it would be really funny to watch and see how that would go, because I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. Is Alan Wake a smoker? His run, dude, he like, does, like, this, like, little baby-ass sprint for, like, 6 seconds, and he's completely winded. Dude, I'm a fat ass, okay? I'm fat as hell. I can run faster and longer than he can, okay? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's the same thing in The Evil Within. Like, you do, like, this little, like, jog, and then suddenly it's like... like, holy shit, dude, go outside. Like, work on your cardio, for God's sake, dude. Come on.
To say, Alan's a writer. He just sits on his chair all day. Like
I just sit in a chair all day, and I can run faster than he can, and longer.
It just reminds me of, like, the sprinting in the Slender games from, like, way back when.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
You sprint for maybe like 3 seconds, and then the character's going.
That reminds me of the first time I played Battlefield 3 compared to like what was it called, Call of Duty? Because Call of Duty, you like run, you know, you run okay, and then
you're like running
at Battlefield. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me just start sprinting. I'm like, my boy here has ran like 10 miles, and he's still going. Lucky in this LMG, my dude.
Yeah, Call of Duty later went on to let you just kind of sprint forever for the most part.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part, but you can at least sprint like a good distance. It's funny because, like, again, like playing as a Call of Duty character who's lugging around like a sniper rifle and an LMG and like 4 grenades, and a pistol and all sorts of other equipment and shit, like 700 rounds of ammunition, and I can run faster and longer in that game than Alan can. Like, I get it, like, realism and whatever, but it's not realistic to have a guy who's like, and again, he's not fat, he's like a normally built dude, run for 6 seconds before he gets winded, and especially in a combat encounter when I have the weird ghost apparition dudes that are running after me and they kill me so fast. I'm playing on normal difficulty, and they can just gank up on me because Alan can't freaking run longer than 6 seconds, and there's no way to upgrade it. So I'm just sitting around running, and I'm trying to kill the enemies, and it's ridiculous. It's just... Yeah. It's frustrating. It's terrible in the gameplay department. Like, it's absolutely bad. The only thing that's carrying me forward in that game is its shit story, and that is not that's not a hallmark of like quality game making there, and it sucks because I never finished Control, and the main reason why is because it ran like shit on the PlayStation 4 because I had PS Now for a little bit and it was there, but Control, like what I played of that, it's like, this is a good game. It's got a really good story. I really like the characters. The gameplay's really good when it's not chugging like sub 15 frames per second. It's really good. But like I couldn't finish it because I was like at the very end of the game, and like it was like single digit frame rates, and it's like, well, not gonna happen, Chief. I'm not doing this shit.
That always sucks when you have a good game, but
yeah, it was.
Oh, go ahead.
It was bad. Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna quickly wrap up that. But the thing is, like, at least I can see that Remedy improved over time. Like, they really hit the nail like on the head with Control. But Alan Wake is pretty bad. I'm gonna finish it. At least so far, unless it gets really, really frustrating, then I'll probably put it down. But I think there's like 4 chapters, I think is what Cody said, because he really likes the game, and he kept pushing me to play it. I just finished chapter 2 today, so I guess I'm somewhere in the game, but I don't know.
In the game.
You're somewhere in the game.
I'm somewhere in the game. Oh, yeah. Oh, real quick. I just have to say this. There's also really bad product placement in the game.
Oh,
and it's so funny. Alan Wake drives a Lincoln, and they make it very clear that they're driving a Lincoln. The rear view mirror system is like some sort of like Microsoft tech, and you have the logo on the screen in there when the camera pans in there. They make sure that Alan has a Verizon phone, and there's literal Verizon commercials and billboards in the game, and you use Energizer batteries for your flashlight that you can pick up, and they're literally Energizer batteries, and the flashlight is Energizer brand. I'm not kidding.
Gotta get that funding somehow, right?
It's so. And here's the thing: I don't get it. It was an Xbox exclusive. Like, didn't you already have like platform exclusive money to begin with? What the hell happened?
Blatant product placement. Gotta love it.
It's so stupid, but it's funny.
I was gonna say, when they're so blatant like that, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, the very first time that Alan whips out his phone in a cutscene, I just saw like this big fat Verizon logo on it. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I had a solid laugh from that. It's so bad. And again, it just really lends into its themes on how it's trying to take itself so seriously, and that it's this, ooh, super cool drama and mystery, ooh, and then like Alan like whips out and the camera pans to the Verizon logo on his phone. And you know, he's like, ooh, this is like a Stephen King story. Ooh, and it's like, oh dear.
Oh God.
Let me send a text to my friend with my Verizon phone
while driving in my Lincoln, even though that's very irresponsible.
Yeah, it's great, man. But yeah, that's Alan Wake. I guess I'll have more thoughts on it when I finish it. But that's where I stand right now. It sucks, but I'm enjoying it for the wrong reasons, and we'll see if it sticks.
Hey, as long as you're enjoying it for some reason, right?
I guess. Still doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's at least a 4 out of 10 so far. So, and I'm sure that anyone like digs back into my past and they want to cancel me for something, that there's a good thing for you, because I'm so against the consensus on the game because so many people love it, but hear me, big brain contrarian.
All right, you heard it here, folks. You want to cancel Ethan? Cancel him because he's not part of the hive mind that likes Alan Wake.
Yep, I don't like Alan Wake. I'm sorry, I've never said the N-word, even on Twitter, so you can't cancel me for any legitimate reasons.
Just cancel him because of Alan Wake.
Just do it because I don't like Alan Wake. It's on Game Pass, too. You can play it backwards compatible on the Xbox. You can also
like
play it on PC. Well, yeah, no, if anyone else wants to like see this stupid bullshit for themselves, because I'd highly recommend it. If you already have Game Pass, like, here's the thing. Like, why not? Because it's like the Netflix for games. Because like you could just like a la carte like taste test and see kind of what sticks. And it's like, oh hey, I want to play this, and it's, you know, it's like, if it's liquid shit, I don't like it. Like, fine, whatever, ditch it. But you know, you can find gems, or you could find bullshit like Alan Wake that's really funny. Or it's apparently good to some people, unironically good. But you know, hey, again, like if you want to be in on the joke, I guess, like, hey, if you already have it, whether if it's just the PC version or just the console version, hell, why not? And then after you're done laughing at Alan Wake, play a good game like Tetris Effect Connected. You know, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there is a whole thing that, you know, people will like things for their own reasons, and you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like. I'm never one of those people that's gonna like put anyone down for feeling a way about something if I feel differently. Like if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. And you know, like, cool.
However, if you think that Percy Jackson is a good movie,
and you're stupid. Not kidding.
Just kidding.
We love you, Cody. Percy Jackson does suck ass, though. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. No, I mean that's really all I had to say. You know, your opinion is never invalid unless you're a TERF, a Nazi.
I've never heard the word TERF before.
Oh, great.
Aside from like using it to describe ground.
Well, TERF, TERF. They're called a trans exclusionary radical feminist. They're just like bitchy liberal brunch ladies who
brunch ladies specifically. Brunch ladies. You only ever see them during brunch.
Stupid liberal brunch ladies, usually white women, who think that trans women aren't women.
Oh, gotcha.
J.K. Rowling. Prime example.
I was gonna say J.K. Rowling seems like that type.
She's the queen of TERFs.
Lovely.
There you go. There's your example. What a very intriguing batch of discussions we've had today.
You are
well, now I know what that term means.
Achievement hunting, Capcom leaks, TERFs, Alan Wake.
Alan Wake shit.
Alan Wake is shit. What? But yeah, no, that's everything I got, and that's everything I've been playing this week. So I just wanted to read the room. I know I went on for quite a while on my games.
You're the one that plays the most games, so it only makes sense. But like,
yeah, I'm the sweatiest fat ass in the room, so I got to live up to my name.
I guess it's just that you play the biggest variety of games, because I mean I do play. It's just like Rocket League though. I don't really delve into anything new ever. I find a game I
always
perfect
like to
it, stick with it, and then I just kind of sit there. And then eventually, once I get bored, I'm like, okay, cool, we'll find something else.
I like to sample and just go around and see, this looks pretty good, and give that a taste. Yes, it is good. And I'm like, ooh, no, that's Alan Wake. Let's play something good instead.
Man, we're just roasting Alan Wake now.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with, because yes.
This is the new I Hate Alan Wake show with your host, Ethan.
If you're a fan of this show, you must be part of the hive mind. Alan Wake bad.
Alan Wake bad.
Repeat after me.
Alan Wake bad. I'll just add a bunch of subliminal messages about Alan Wake bad in the
audio. throw 3 fingers up and take the Alan Wake bad oath. I'll write something and I'll throw it out on the next episode. You guys remind me to do this because
we're doing this for real. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it because I will more than likely have Alan Wake done by next time because I have like 3 days off next week for the weekend.
Because Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'll have plenty of time to finish the game.
It's my birthday next week. I'm turning 23.
What a loser!
I don't know what I'm doing. Probably
that peaked my audio.
Out with some people.
I'm so sorry.
Better be me. No, I'm kidding. What about me or what?
Oh, I just when I did my gasp, it peaked the audio, so I was just apologizing.
Well, sucks to be you, I guess.
Yeah, that I guess it does. Well, yeah, it really does. Games are like my only real escape right now from not going absolutely psychotic. Anyway, anyone else got anything?
I will say that next week I will be able to participate a lot better because it's because music took over all of this week. I'm gonna let games take over all of next week.
Woo!
Games in Japanese are gonna take over next week, so we'll play a lot of games in Japanese. Yeah, baby.
Woo!
And I've been playing a lot of games at the end of this week because I finished like a shit ton of homework recently, just all in one go. And that felt so good to just get all of that off the table so I don't have to worry about like homework for at least for probably the next 2 days. But that's an accomplishment for me lately because I've been slacking. So
good boy.
I literally spent like all day, like yesterday after I did finish my homework, just playing Dark Souls because I was like,
nice.
You know what? I deserve it.
Yeah, who's ready for a 2.5-hour podcast next week where we all bitch about a litany of games that we've played?
Hell yeah.
But anyway, I guess that concludes for this week. Plugs. I'll go first because I have the most, which makes me better than the rest of you.
Yes, master.
Yes.
Obviously a joke. But of course, as always, you can find me at Sir Kwijibo, SirKwyjibo, all one word. You can find me at that handle on Letterboxd, Medium, and Backlogged. If you follow me on Medium and you read my shit there, I get chump change for that, which it's at least some money. I don't get it on the other platforms, but I'd appreciate it if you read my shit. I have the first part of a Devil May Cry retrospective that has been released as of this recording, and part 2 might be out by the time this gets out, who knows. But yeah, I've got some fresh stuff to read over there. It's more editorialized, so it's a little less professional, but I get to have fun. You can additionally find me on Twitter and Instagram at SirKBO, where I go into my stories on Instagram and I call people out for being bad at Smash.
I saw that recently.
Oh yeah, you saw that whole kerfuffle. Yeah, that's great. And then and then I tweet about politics like a big dum-dum, and how I'm bad at video games on Twitter, so enjoy that. And then last but certainly not least, I'm on Comic Book Resources. I write articles for them. I have like 3 articles that are going out by the time that this is recording, and by the time that it's released, I'm pretty sure all 3 of them will be out. And then I'll probably have more on the way. They're free to read. If you read those articles, I get kickback. Read my stuff. I'd appreciate it. And
you should
once again,
throw those in the Discord chat.
Yeah, I've forgotten to do that, but I'll do it again here real soon. But just as a reminder for everybody here, you can find all of my links in the link tree in the description of this podcast, as well as the SoundCloud profile itself. So if you want to harass me on Twitter and whatever, you can find it there if my handle is too complicated for you to spell. It shouldn't. It's 6 letters, but I don't know, man. You do you. Anyway, Ben, take it away.
Yeah, so you can find me on Letterboxd and Backlogged at Thunderfellow. Those are the only ones that I have. But yeah, if you want to see what I think about movies or video games, which is what their whole point is, you can find that there. So yeah.
Lit. Elias,
And
what
then
you got?
just SoundCloud. I think it's just under my name, just Elias Fernandez last name /EAFA, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think we
link
have.
will be in description, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have you tagged, I think, on the SoundCloud profile itself. Go ahead and double check.
I'll check that afterwards. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, always double check because I want to make sure I get correct links for everybody.
But keep an eye out on that because I just because I said I was doing music week this week, so I tried to write a mini album. I kind of failed. I couldn't get the fourth song in because the fourth song that I made just barely. I'm like, I want to take more time on this one. So, but there'll be 3 songs up there. Hopefully either tonight or tomorrow.
Hey, that's an EP.
So EP, we're making a mini EP. Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. But yeah, yeah, so I guess that does it for today.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice lean 80 minutes today. Look at that. That's the shortest this has ever been. So
look at us.
Enjoy it because they're probably only going to get longer from here. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Matane.